One of the most challenging aspects of Rocket League is defense. Coordination and rotational mistakes on defense can very quickly lead to a goal, and a very common question I get asked by players is, what do I do after I go for the ball on defense? Oftentimes on offense, we will talk about rotating behind your teammates after you go for the ball, because a good rotation is quick, with players challenging the ball with as much forward momentum as possible, and always having someone back to cover as third man. Well, on defense, we can't really literally go behind our teammates because there's a wall, and this is where the back post comes in. Welcome back to another Game Jam Online video, everyone. I'm Coach Aero, and in this one, we'll be taking a look at the back post rotation. Today's warm-up will be in two parts. Since this video focuses more on the positioning side, we still want to make sure that we are putting in some time for our individual mechanics. For the first part of our warm-up, spend 5 minutes in free play for a general mechanical warm-up. Following that, spend another 5 minutes in a training pack of your choice. If you want to do the one you see me doing in the footage, the code will be flashing on the screen now. The back post is defined as the goal post that is furthest away from the play. For example, if the ball is on the left side of the field, back post would be the right goal post. And if the ball is on the right side of the field, then back post would be the left goal post. The reason why we want to rotate back post is because after we go for the ball, our teammates will be behind us ready to follow up after us. We don't want to get in their way, so naturally we will rotate to the opposite side of the field, and this will naturally take us towards back post. After we rotate into the third man position, we want to end up facing towards the ball at back post, because being at back post will give us the widest vision on the play with the most options available to react to whatever the offense might throw at us, and we can save pretty much any shot that may come at the net from this position. When we are making decisions like rotating back post and eventually leaving back post, the only way for us to make the best decision possible is to have a good grasp on where our teammates are. For example, if I'm at back post and I notice my teammate drive behind me, then that's a really good cue for me to know that it's now my turn to push up towards the ball. We always want only one player at the back post. If there are more than one player, our spacing won't be good and we aren't covering as much ground, so the offense will have an easier time breaking down our defense. This is where a lot of lower ranked players might struggle, as clashes in the rotation are very common, so remember to always keep an eye on your teammates, and remember that Rocket League rotations should be fast and fluid. What does that mean? For example, if I play first man and go attack the ball, after I'm done, my number one priority over anything else is to hustle back behind my teammates to play third man as fast as possible. Like we've established, doing this on defense will naturally take you to the back post. Alright guys, now we're going to take a look at what a successful back post rotation looks like. We're going to take a look at the actual play in real time, and then we're going to rewind it and we're going to go ahead and break down DaVinci's thought process here and why he did what he did. So we can start out, we see we're on kickoff. Our player here doesn't end up beating Maggers to the mid boost, so he's got to go back. And what you can see here is he kind of does what we talked about. He kind of ends up back post facing the play, and this is perfect. So what we're going to do is we're going to rewind this and we're going to see how exactly DaVinci here knew that this was the correct play. And then you guys are also going to be able to see this and incorporate it into your own games. So we can see here that we go for kickoff, right? And you can just equate this to going for the ball or doing whatever you needed to do, like we talked about in the previous sections. And right here, DaVinci sees that the ball is going to the right side of the field, and exactly like we talked about, that would mean that the back post is actually on the left side. So DaVinci here knows that he's going to be the last player. You can see me over there, Aero. I'm near post, which is the closest post to the play. And you can see that DaVinci here ends up perfectly, and now we're just going to draw this out. And just remember guys, like it's really as simple as seeing where the ball is, and if you rotate to the opposite side of the ball like we talked about, it'll naturally take you towards the back post, right? So I'm gonna illustrate this for you guys right now, and your rotation should always, he started about mid boost here, he ends up kind of coming like this, and boom, he's got forward momentum. So I want your guys' rotations to look like this. I'm going to do this in a different color. Your rotation shouldn't be erratic like this, right? That should never happen. They should always be quick, fluid, and smooth. Now we're going to work on incorporating our back post rotations into our 3v3 games. If you guys are worried about testing new things in competitive, you can queue casual here, but remember that you shouldn't be worried about losing your rank ever because you will always have the opportunity to get it back. I want you to rotate back post and be able to identify at least one example of it in the saved replay. Alright guys, now what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick look at an example of a successful back post rotation from one of my games. So what you can see here is I end up playing first man, take a 50 on the ball, and right here you might ask, well, Aero, we talked about rotating immediately away from the ball, the opposite side, but right here, as soon as Darklight gets this first touch, I know that this is going to shoot back out behind me to the other side, so I know that back post is going to actually end up being on this side of the field, and that's where what we talked about comes in with always being aware of where the ball is and what the opponents and your teammates are doing. So it ends up shooting back, and I am perfectly at back post in this play, ready for anything that comes at the net. To reiterate our most important points, rotation in Rocket League is about taking turns, and it needs to be fast to succeed. We rotate back post to play third man on defense because it's the most advantageous position when last back for the reasons we covered. Wide vision of the play, and you're able to save any shot that comes on net. Remember that for all of this to work, we need to be able to identify where our teammates are and not clash with them in the rotation. This is why we always rotate towards the opposite side of the ball, because after we go for the ball and are looking to rotate back, one of our teammates will be behind where we previously were, and we don't want to get in their way. This has been the back post rotation. Thanks for watching, everyone, and stay tuned for next week's video.